What's going on, Shady people? ShadyPenguinn here, bringing you another live Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle against a subscriber/follower. And before we get started, if you can, please make sure you click that like button right below this video. Remember, if this video reaches 1,100 likes, I will keep 2 videos a day coming your way. That is what I say. Now, today I am battling Tino. His Twitter link will be in the description below. And we're going to go over my team really quick. I'm using the same team as yesterday's battle. I wanted to give it one more shot. Did have a victory, and like I said, when I build a new team, I want to try to use it at least 2 times. And if it gets 1 loss, 1 win, I would like to use it a 3rd time. So here we go. I'm bringing my Haxorus, Slowking, Weavile, Arcanine, Tangrowth, and Conkeldurr. So out of those Pokemon right now, leave a comment down below placing your bet and who you think is going to be the most valuable Pokemon in today's match. Once again, that's Haxorus, Slowking, Weavile, Arcanine, Tangrowth, and Conkeldurr. So whichever one tickles your fancy, leave a comment right now. And we'll all get to see if you're right later on. So I'm going to hit that battle start button. And we're going to get ready to grab my phone right here and take a picture of my opponent's team, who is currently having a very good win streak, and he's also using Mega Kangaskhan, which, you know what, we're going to let it slide right now. I don't have an answer for Mega Kangaskhan, really, because I'm not expecting to see a Mega Kangaskhan, but we're going to try to work around it regardless. It is banned on Smogon, but we're, like I said, not, and listen, I know this is a huge debate between people, between my subscribers especially. You don't have to play by Smogon rules. I usually do when I do 6v6s. You don't have to. So we're not playing by them this game. To be honest with you, if he double spores me with Breloom, we're going to have a little bit of an issue, but I think we'll be okay. I'm actually going to open up with my Weavile. Am I going to open a Weavile? Let me see. His potential lead is Rotom. I'm going to open up with Tangrowth. Predicting the potential lead of Rotom. I think that'll be just fine. Hopefully that is what he leads with. We're already just team preview. We're on the downs right here, where you can see his team very OU, very good, very well-constructed team. I mean, he's got everything he needs. He's got an ice weakness though, which is what I'm identifying right now. He's got 3 Pokemon that can get taken down by ice. So if I can get rid of that Rotom and that Aegislash, my Weavile can pretty much clean up everything else. So he leads off with Washington, which is going to be Rotom. That's a very common nickname actually for a Rotom. And out comes my Tangrowth, which is absolutely perfect. He might go for a Volt Switch and go into his Breloom. I'm not going to go for the Sleep Powder. I'm just going to go for a straight up Giga Drain, because if he goes out into Breloom, Sleep Powder or Leech Seed is going to be a waste. So let me just go for the Giga Drain and get some damage off. Either way, at least it'll get a little damage off. I could switch out into my my Arcanine. I'm glad I didn't though, because he did go for the T-Wave, and I'm okay with this thing being paralyzed. I'm okay with it. Gonna get that Giga Drain off. He should do a solid amount of damage, brings it below half, and he's gonna eat his Citrus Berry right now. So at least we know that item is out of the way. I definitely do predict a Volt Switch here, and I don't really have anything that wants to take it. I mean, I could go out into my Ansem, but then he can just come in with whatever he wants to come in with. So we're going to just let Tangrowth take the Volt Switch, and I'm going to go for another Giga Drain, because he's probably going to switch out into his Breloom upon the Volt Switch. But at least right now, we know we can keep in mind that his Rotom Wash is neither Specs nor Scarfed, so he's probably running T-Wave, Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, and Thunderbolt. Possibly Will-O-Wisp and Thunder Wave. I've seen some Rotom run double status, which is fine. That's I don't think that's bad at all. Hard switch, so he possibly does not run the Volt Switch. Goes out into Noivern. I really expected him to go out into stinking Breloom, so I could have gone for the Sleep Powder. I don't want to take any special attack with this thing, so I'm gonna hard switch out into my Slowking. Even if he predicts me and goes for the U-turn, that is fine. My Slowking will still sit in here nice and pretty. It'll take a little bit of damage from the U-turn, but he actually goes for the Air Slash, which I should be able to take relatively well. I mean, granted, he's probably, looking at that damage, oh, he's Life Orb. Okay, I was like, he's got to have something. Didn't look like Specs damage exactly, so at least I got to see the Life Orb. He has the ability to go for whatever he wants now, so if he has the U-turn, he can go for it. I'm just going to go for the T-Wave here, because I do not predict him to stay in at all, considering Slowking's very obviously run the Ice Beam, so I'm not going to go for an obvious play right here. It is a little early to start predicting, but I do want to go for the Thunder Wave, because whether this thing gets paralyzed or something else gets paralyzed, hopefully he comes in with like Breloom, which would be fantastic if that thing gets paralyzed. I would absolutely love that. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. I think T-Wave is the safest play to go for. I mean, if he stays with Noivern, yeah, I could go for the Ice Beam, but I do think if he's carrying U-turn, he's going to go for it. Not everyone carries U-turn on their Noivern, though. They like Air Slash, Draco Meteor, Dragon Pulse, and Flamethrower. That's a common set that I see a lot, but he could have that U-turn. I carry U-turn on mine. Some of my sets I carry U-turn on, I should say. But, yeah, he's still thinking about what he's going to do. He's probably going to switch out into Breloom. If he switches out into Rotom, though, I'm in a little bit of trouble. So he's going to withdraw. He might go into Rotom, actually. He does go out into Rotom, so it's a very good play on his part. He read that T-Wave very, very, very well. Not that he could have been predicting Ice Beam, and it still was the best switch he could go for. So here, I pretty much had to switch out. I'm going to go into my Tangrowth, because my Tangrowth can take it, and then with Regenerator Core, this is a Regenerator Core team, and it's just really, really good. Considering he's got no hazards to set up on his team, he's got no options with that, so he's going to go for a T-Bolt here. I should be able to just take that like a champion, even without a lot of special defense. It does a little more than I wanted it to. But I know Tangrowth has really pitiful special defense, but it's got bulk, and it's got Regenerator, so I'm not worried about it. Here, I really do predict like Breloom or something. I don't know. I'm just gonna go for Giga Drain again. If he decides to go out into Noivern again, so be it. I don't want to predict that and go for Sleep Powder, because I just don't feel comfortable going for Sleep Powder until that Breloom is gone. Let's see what he goes into. He goes out into Fruit Ninja, which is going to be Breloom. He's got that Fruit Ninja cap on. But we'll see how much this does. It does a decent amount. It does enough for me to want to stay in, honestly. Because that looks like sub-breaking damage, possibly. Maybe a little less than sub-breaking damage. But I really don't want him setting up a sub. And I think I can take a Drain Punch relatively well. So I'm actually going to go... I'm going to go for the Giga Drain. I'm not going to switch out because he might Spore. It's just too dangerous with the Breloom around, I'm telling you. This thing can actually answer Breloom pretty well. He's going to withdraw, seeing that damage. He's going to withdraw, seeing that damage. He goes out into Noivern, which will take this Giga Drain much, much better. But my Tangrowth will be pretty much at full health now, which is absolutely awesome. And I kind of do have to switch out into Slowking here, but I kind of don't want to. I kind of want to put this Noivern to sleep, but that's really risky. If he goes for an Air Slash, I'm dead. I cannot take an Air Slash, and neither can my Conkeldurr. So I'm gonna go back out into Slowking. I do think it's the best play. If he has the U-turn, he goes for it. You know what, he gains that initiative, and we'll be at a new place in the battle where I'm gonna have to make a new decision. But I think Slowking is the best thing to go for, especially since the last 3 turns I sat in with Tangrowth, so he might think that I'm committed to sitting in with Tangrowth and still go for the Air Slash. He does indeed go for the Air Slash. And now that we're in this position right here, I don't predict him to go out into... I do predict him to go out into Rotom, but there's really nothing I can do about it. I'm going to go for the Ice Beam, really hoping that he stays in or goes into something other than Rotom. But I'm going to go for that Ice Beam right here. I don't think he's going to stay in, because even if he thinks I'm going to go for the T-Wave, he doesn't want his Noivern paralyzed. He really doesn't. So maybe I should have went for the Stab Scald on the Rotom. But it is what it is. There's nothing I can do. The opening of this battle is a lot of switching. But you know what? That's what it takes. You have to, when you sit down to battle, you got to be committed to the battle that you're in. You can't just get all flimsy and be like, oh, I don't want to switch, even though I know it's the right play. Let me just move the battle along and stay in. Because then it's going to result in a loss for you. So he does go back out into Washington, and the Ice Beam is not going to do anything at all to this thing, unfortunately. And I do want to stay in a little bit, but there's literally no reason to stay in. I think the only way I can move this battle along a little bit more is if I go into Conkeldurr. Because I think my Conkeldurr can take a special hit somewhat well. It is running Assault Vest, so it's got like a over 160 special defense. So I'm actually going to go out into Conkeldurr, and I'm really hoping that maybe he makes a double switch here. Predicting me to go to Tangrowth. Maybe he'll go back out into Noivern, which is just fine with me, because I can take anything Noivern wants to hit me with, and I can go for an Ice Punch. And do I carry? No, I don't have Ice Punch right now. But I can start knocking. I can start using knockoff on everything, which is my favorite thing to do. But I switch out into my Conkeldurr, and he does go for the safe T-Bolt. Actually, kind of hoping for a paralysis, but I don't get it, which is a weird thing to hope for, I know. But I do carry the Ice Punch. All right. So here, I'm just gonna go for a Drain Punch. That Aegislash would love to come in and set up on me, wouldn't it? Something tells me he wouldn't go into Aegislash right now. But something tells me he's not going to stay in. I really don't think he's going to stay in after seeing how little Thunderbolt did. So I'm going to go for the knockoff, predicting him to switch out into whoever. Oh, he stays and goes for a T-Wave. But you know what? With that T-Wave, I just might be able to, as long as I don't get fully powered knockoff. I know he already used his item, but this might take him out. Might take him out because my attack stat gets doubled. No, it doesn't, but here I can go for a Mach Punch and clean up. Unfortunately, I did reveal that I have the knockoff, so it's not going to take him by surprise if he goes into Aegislash. Unfortunately, I get fully parried here, but that's obviously something that's going to happen. He lands his Hydro Pump on my full para, and that's going to do a decent amount. And I think I still have to go for a Mach Punch again. I'm going to go for another Mach Punch. If he goes into Aegislash, that's fine. He is going to go into Aegislash right now. All right. No, he goes into Fruit Ninja. Okay, I'm okay with that. As long as I land this, you know what? Breloom has no defense and my Guts is activated, so that does enough for me to really not be afraid. Is he going to go for a Mach Punch? Is that what he's going to do right now? I guess he's going to go for a Mach Punch. He would outspeed. I just don't know if he would kill. With Technician, he might kill, but I got pretty good defense. I'm not really willing to risk it, so I'm actually going to switch out into my Arcanine because my Arcanine will threaten it out. I'll get the Intimidate. Actually, the Rocky Helmet will probably take him out if he does go for the Mach Punch. So that should be absolutely perfect if he does decide to go for Mach Punch. I'm going to get the Intimidate off. It's going to do barely anything because I am a physically defensive Arcanine. He does indeed go for the Mach Punch, which is not going to do too much. It does 37. That's a decent amount because it's Technician. But the Rocky Helmet is going to take his Breloom out, which is great news because now my Tangrowth can go for some Sleep Powders. Or one, rather. Put one Pokemon to sleep until that one's dead. Put another one to sleep, etc., etc. But not going to put multiple Pokemon to sleep at the same time, even if he is bringing his Kangaskhan. Now, here's the only problem with me revealing my Arcanine, is that now he knows that my Arcanine is most likely going to come in on his Kangaskhan, and he's going to go for an Earthquake instead of going for, like, fake outs and all that stuff, unfortunately. So that kind of stinks. He's probably going to go... He can't really go out into his Rotom here. I think his Rotom's low enough where an Extreme Speed will kill. I'm not entirely sure. He goes down into Blue Eyes. His stinking, whatever you call it, Dragonite, and I really hope that he has Weakness Policy because I'm gonna go for the Will-O-Wisp. I'm gonna go for the Will-O-Wisp, really hoping he's holding Weakness Policy. Oh, go straight away for an EQ, and he's faster, so he might be Scarfed. I don't know. Let's find out. I'm burning this thing at the very least. Let's see if that burn sticks. That burn does stick, so that might be a Choice Scarf Dragonite. I like the nickname too, by the way, Yu-Gi-Oh reference. But, yeah, I pretty much can't stay in on this thing. Earthquakes, who can take an Earthquake? Really, my Tangrowth can really absorb an Earthquake. So I'm going to go out into my Tangrowth. I'm not going to try and stay in here. I'm glad the scale is broken, but I'm not going to try and stay in here with a stinking Arcanine. I still want that thing for Kangaskhan just to get an Intimidate off. I'd really like to have it, in case it comes down to that. Plus, my Arcanine has a Flamethrower, which would be good against Aegislash, but I have other answers for Aegislash. I have my Weavile for Aegislash. And with no hazards on the field, I really got to conserve my Weavile because it is holding the Focus Sash, so I need to conserve it for that Aegislash. Here, I'm actually just going to go for a Substitute. Do I want to go for Substitute or Leech Seed? I'm going to go for Leech Seed because I really do predict that Noivern to come right in. He's definitely Choice Scarfed, I think. Let me check Dragonite. I think Dragonite... I mean, Dragonite's not slow or anything, but I thought Arcanine was a lot... but I'm not invested with Arcanine. I gotta remember that. I'm defensive. So I'm defense and HP, so that's something to remember. Dragonite has a base speed of 80, and I'm pretty sure Arcanine has a base speed that's a lot higher than that. He actually goes into his Aegislash now, which is pretty interesting, because I can see this thing, and if it's not a special Aegislash, I can put this thing to sleep and pretty much be perfectly fine. I'm gonna go for the Sleep Powder here because I mean, if he's special, then I'm kind of screwed, but we're gonna find out what set he is in the next couple turns. And I'm thinking that he's physical, looking at the rest of his team. Actually, looking at the rest of his team, no, I think he's physical. He's got his two special attackers, Rotom and Noivern. No real core. He does go for a Swords Dance, so as long as Tangrowth, listen, don't get fully powered, and don't miss that Sleep Powder. And he's fully powered. Yes! All right, full paralyzation. We're gonna see the lefty's recovery. I'm not too concerned though right now because I think I can take a +2 hit from an Aegislash. I know I could be overestimating Tangrowth's ability, but I really do think I can. And he's gonna go for another Swords Dance, so I'm feeling more and more comfortable with each passing turn. As long as I hit the Sleep Powder, I hit it, which is perfect. Because I was actually slower, as you saw there. So now, on his first turn of sleep, I'm going to be able to switch into Weavile, and then I'm going to be able to come in and take him out with a knockoff, and either force him to switch out, or I know my Weavile will get taken down to the point of, what do you want to call it? The point of Focus Sash if he wakes up on the next turn. If he goes for a Shadow Sneak, I really won't get taken to Focus Sash, but I only need my Weavile for, I mean, I want it for Noivern and Dragonite, but Ice Shard can take both those things out. I don't need really help. I just have to have priority. Oh, wow. He went for an attack type move when he's asleep, so he changed his forms, which is really unfortunate for him. I mean, now he's got to go for a King Shield. He pretty much has to go for a King Shield here. So even if he wakes up, I'm not going to take any damage, and then I'm going to be perfectly fine. I'm going to be in great shape. Take this advice, anyone that's watching. Me personally, I should go for Pursuit, really, in case he decides to switch out. And Pursuit should kill no matter what. No, it won't. If he's in defensive mode. If he goes... Well, if he doesn't use King Shield, it'll kill no matter what. So let's go for Pursuit here, hoping that he switches out. Yes! He went to Withdraw, which means my Pursuit is easily going to take this Aegislash out, which is a huge threat. Gone down. Like I was saying, though, if you have an Aegislash and you're asleep, never go for an offensive move, in my opinion. Especially first turn. You're not going to wake up, so never, ever, ever go for an offensive move. Definitely try to just reuse King Shield. Even if you use it on the last turn, it doesn't matter. Definitely want to stay in that defensive mode while you're sleeping. Granted, I really think it's the best thing to do is just to constantly go for defensive moves until you actually wake up, because it's too risky. It's way too risky. If you stay asleep and you go for an offensive move, out comes his Kangaskhan, which means I'm going to go out into my very weak Arcanine. It's an obvious switch, so if he carries EQ on this, he's probably going to go for the EQ, but I really want to get the Intimidate off. First things first. I really don't have much for this Kangaskhan now that my Conkeldurr is really low, but we're going to see. Maybe this won't even be Mega Kangaskhan. Let's find out. We're going to find out right now, but it would be really odd if he brought regular Kangaskhan. No, he's going to Mega Evolve, so it is Mega Kangaskhan, which I know a lot of you guys are going to say, oh, it's Ubers, you shouldn't be using it. Whatever, I didn't say anything before we tweeted. He asked me for a battle on Twitter. I was actually just about to tweet for a battle, so I said, sure, let's have a battle. But he ended up going for the Rock Slide, definitely the better play. It's going to take out my Arcanine with very little trouble. And now I've got to figure out how to deal with this, Kangaskhan. I think the best thing to do is to go out into my Tangrowth and try to put this thing to sleep. Now that his Aegislash, who I had put to sleep, is dead, I'm allowed to put another Pokemon to sleep. Sleep Claws, that's how it works. Because what other status is on his team right now? I burned something, didn't I? I burned his Dragonite. Alright, so we're good. I'm going to go for a Sleep Powder here. I really don't think his Kangaskhan will have anything for me. He's going to go for a Power Punch, try to set up. I'm okay with that because you can see how much of a brick wall my Tangrowth is. I mean, granted, he's not at any extra attack right now, but as long as I don't get fully powered and I hit this Sleep Powder, oh, that's going to hurt me. That's going to hurt me in the long run. That is definitely going to hurt me in the long run. I'm going to have to... I should have went for Leech Seed first. I wonder if I should go for Leech Seed now. I'm going to go for Leech Seed now, actually, because he's probably going to go... Oh, he's going to withdraw, so he's going to go out into Dragonite, which is... I didn't say it, but that was my secondary thinking, just in case... Oh, actually, no, he goes out into Washington. All right. Well, the Leech Seed, he's going to avoid the Leech Seed, too. I'm missing Leech Seed and Sleep Powder. Oh, my goodness. What is Leech Seed's accuracy? He went into his Rotom just to sack it off, because he really didn't want his... He thought I would go for a Sleep Powder, put his Washington to sleep, and then he'd be able to go back out into his Kangaskhan, which is odd because he's assuming I'm gonna play Smogon rules when he's not playing Smogon rules. So I don't know. It is what it is. Nothing matters. Please don't get upset about Smogon and not Smogon and all that crap. It's just Pokemon battling. It's fun. I wanted to see the accuracy. 90 accuracy on Leech Seed and 75 on Sleep Powder. So Sleep Powder is understandable. Leech Seed though, I hate missing 90 accuracy. I really do. Here I'm just going to go for a Giga Drain and take the T-Bolt, because even though it does around like 60, 80, alright, it does less than 60 actually. So Giga Drain is going to give me some of my health back, and then I'll get my Lefty's recovery. So it's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it to just get rid of this thing right now. Right now we're pretty far up in the battle. I believe he's lost his Breloom, his Rotom Wash, and his Aegislash. So his whole left side of his team, all he's got left is Dragonite, Noivern, and Kangaskhan. So the only threat, in my opinion, is going to be the Kangaskhan. I have to save this Tangrowth, obviously, for the Kangaskhan. So I'm actually going to go out into my Slowking here. Actually, I might just sack off my Conkeldurr. It's really pointless to sack off my Conkeldurr when I have Mach Punch that could possibly do some damage to the Kangaskhan. Actually, with Guts activated, a Mach Punch will do a lot of damage to a Kangaskhan. So we're going to go out into Slowking here. I'd much rather sacrifice the Slowking to a Dark Pulse. It won't kill, but it's going to do a good amount. It does around, what is that, 53? Or 60? Yeah, 53. No? Well, my math is that bad. It does 83. 80? No, 73. Math. Go back to school, kids. So I do predict him to go into just about anything other than... I'm just going to go for Ice Beam. He's probably going to stay in at this point and just go for Dark Pulse flinches. That's what I would probably do at that point. Hopefully he doesn't flinch me. That would be kind of nice. He's going to suffer the Life Orb recoil, which is definitely taking a toll, but I'm going to land that Ice Beam, and it's going to take this Noivern out, which is absolutely fantastic for me. And I like this battle a lot, mainly because it shows you guys that if you compare our two teams, my team is very much less OU, and there's nothing wrong with using OU Pokemon. I personally like using underused Pokemon, like less commonly used Pokemon, I should say. Here, there's no reason for me to sacrifice my Slowking. I'm just going to go out into my Tangrowth because I know I can take literally anything that this thing wants to dish out. Plus, I'll get Regenerator back, so if I want to come in on the Dragonite with my Slowking, I have that option. He goes for the Dizzy Punch. He's going to try to get some Confusion hacks, or actually, I think it's Definitive Confusion. I'm not sure. Dizzy Punch, what's the chances of Confusion happening? But then again, it gets boosted twice because you're hitting twice. So it has a 20% chance to confuse, and he got it. So that's good for him, I guess. But I have to try to still go for a Sleep Powder. So now I have everything against me. I have Confusion, I have Paralyzation, and I have a low accuracy move. So he's going to go for the Rock Slide here. And now he's going for flinches too. So that's another thing. He's got Confusion, Paralyzation, flinches, and a low accuracy move. So let's see. I flinch, which is completely like understandable at that point because there's so many things. The game is rolling so many dies against me that it's going to happen. I think the best thing I could do here is just go out into my Haxorus. I mean, I could take any one hit, I can outspeed, and I could just Outrage. I'm pretty sure Haxorus outspeeds Kangaskhan. I could be overestimating Haxorus' speed. To be honest, I actually think I am. I feel like it's higher than 100. It's 97. So it's a pretty strong chance that I'm not outspeeding, because if he's invested at all, then he's faster than me, which most of them are. So I'm not going to switch out into my Haxorus. I'm actually going to just switch out into... I think I'm going to switch out into Slowking. I'm going to go out into Slowking here, and here's my thought process behind this. Let me go out into Slowking. Let me hopefully he goes for a Power Punch here at this point. He's probably going to go for Rock Slide, though, just to get more flinch hacks, and it's going to do a good amount of damage. Luckily, he doesn't have any Power Punches behind him to increase his attack, but it might still be a 2-hit KO. It's not going to be a 2-hit KO after Leftovers, though, which is good. And as long as he doesn't flinch me, I'll get a T-Wave off, and that'll help me out in the long run. Or I'll definitely have this thing slower than Haxorus, and then my Haxorus can just come in and outrage everything and pretty much win me the game. So as long as I live this one shot, he might actually switch out of the Dragonite here, which is fine. I won't care about that because I'll switch out Slowking, get my Regenerator up. He is going to stay in, though, and opt to go for the Rock Slide, which shouldn't... Oh, it's going to kill. Darn it, it is going to kill. I misjudged that HP. All right, well, you know what? Still accomplishes the same thing, except without the T-Wave, which is rather unfortunate. So I'm actually going to go out into my Haxorus here. And I'm just going to go for a straight up Outrage. This is my shiny Haxorus. Ansem, let's go. I love Ansem so much. I'm going to break that mold, which is not going to matter much. I'm thinking, you know what? This thing might actually be able to kill me. I'm not going to go for a Superpower. I think that I should just go for Outrage, just in case he decides to switch out into Dragonite. There's no way he's switching out into Dragonite. Can I live one shot? Luckily, he doesn't have any pluses, so I should be able to live one shot from this thing. And, I feel like Outrage will kill, because I'm Haxorus, and I have, like, over 200 attack. 218 attack with Life Orb. I feel like Outrage should definitely kill. But, Superpower is super effective. It will go to 240, while Outrage only goes to 180. Yeah, let's go for Superpower. Let's opt for Superpower on the off chance that an Outrage won't kill. He does withdraw! Ladies and gentlemen, this player is too good. That's rather unfortunate because I'm going to lose some Life Orb recoil, which is exactly what I wanted to avoid. This will still do a solid chunk of damage, but not nearly what I wanted to happen at all. Especially if his Dragonite has Roost. Especially if it has Roost. Here, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to straight up switch back out into Tangrowth. Because he's probably going to go for a Dragon-type move. Physical, of course. He's burned. Oh, yeah, he's not going to have Roost because he was Choice Scarfed. So, I think he was Choice Scarfed anyway. But by the way, he switched out and he outspent all stuff. He does go for the Dragon Claw. I'm not going to stay in and go for an Outrage at that point. I really wish I would have gone for the Outrage, but I still think that might have been the better play. Because here I can just go for Leech Seeds all day. There's no reason to go for anything else. I mean, technically I can go for Substitute. I'm going to go for Substitute, ladies and gentlemen. And my reason behind that is I don't want to kill this thing just yet. I want to go for Substitute. Hopefully, there's an off chance that it'll switch out. I mean, then again, Elite Seed probably would have been better off that way if I got Elite Seed on that Kangaskhan. But I'm going to go for a Substitute. He's going to go for a Dragon Claw, which is a good thing he's outspeeding me because I'm fully paralyzed, so nothing matters. It doesn't matter what I went for. Doesn't matter what I went for. Here, I'm definitely going to go for a Substitute because the burn is going to take him out on the following turn. And being behind a sub when that Kangaskhan comes in will be kind of nice because then I have a better chance of getting the Sleep Powder off because maybe he won't break my sub with his first Rock Slide. I'm gonna land the Substitute, which is just fine. He's gonna die to burn. I'm gonna get Lefty's recovery, and it's gonna be an interesting thing to see if I can just land a Sleep Powder on this Kangaskhan. I pretty much win the game. Actually, screw Sleep Powder. I've got so many Pokemon left that I think I'd rather just go for a Leech Seed. Sleep Powder is such low accuracy right now that I don't want to get swept by a Mega Kangaskhan somehow, so I'm just going to go for a Leech Seed, get the Leech Seed on there. He pretty much has to go for a Stab type move right now to break my sub anyway. I don't think he even has the option to go for Rock Slide because I don't think the first one will break my sub. He does go for Rock Slide though. Hopefully Flinch doesn't work through sub. I really hope it doesn't. Because his first one is not going to break my sub, and the second one is not going to break my sub either. So I am extremely glad I went for Leech Seed. That is absolutely fantastic. At this point, I actually don't even want to go for Sleep Powder. Just to keep this thing interesting, because now I'm going to be getting Lefties, and I'm going to be getting some Leech Seed recovery. So definitely the Substitute on that Dying Dragonite was the play to make. Put me in a great position. I can actually go for another Substitute right now. But I guess I should make the smartest play and try to put it to sleep, which is what I'm going to do because that is the smartest play. He's going to go for Dizzy Punch here. I actually think Power Punch, Dizzy Punch, Rock Slide. I haven't seen his fourth move. It's got to be Return or it's got to be something Stab. But that does absolutely pathetic damage. Oh! This is why I hate Sleep Powder so much. I hate it. I should have just gone for some Giga Drains and let Tangrowth take this thing down. Yeah, let's not bother going for Sleep Powder now. Not that it matters because he's going to go for Dizzy Punch or Rock Slide. But I'm going to just go for a straight up Giga Drain. I'm not even going to bother subbing again. I don't think it's worth it at this point. Because I'll sub and then he'll break it on the following turn. He's going to go for Dizzy Punch. He does not get the Confusion and I do get a Giga Drain off. So we'll see how much that does. It does pretty much nothing. But Tangrowth is a wall. It is not so much an attacker, but strong defense is your best offense. Definitely, in my opinion. Strong defense is definitely your best offense. Not that I mean, it's fun to play strong offense, though. Sometimes that's why you'll see me switch teams a lot, because I love playing like a rush team where I just go in and try to pound it out as much as possible. But I do find a lot more success rate with a strong offense. I'm not going to sacrifice anything off. There's really no reason. I'm just going to finish this game up. I'm just going to go for another Giga Drain. No reason not to. He's going to go for a Power Punch here just as a last-ditch effort, maybe to try to gain some attack boost and see if he can take this thing out. But between Giga Drain, Leech Seed, and me not getting fully powered right there, that's going to be, he's only going to have one more turn to survive after this one. So I can pretty much let Tangrowth just finish up this game. But this was a really fun match. Like I said, thank you so much, Tino, for this match. It was a lot of fun. And I'm glad that you brought a very OU team. I'm actually glad that you brought Mega Kangaskhan just to show that just because a Pokemon is inherently, I'd say inherently better, doesn't mean that you're always going to lose. Like, you can break through that. You can break through a team that's inherently better with much higher stats just by making the right plays. And you played very well too, so it was definitely a very good game. I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. This Kangaskhan is about to go down. Garuda is going down right now, fainting to the Giga Drain. So Tangrowth is probably the MVP right there because it put up a solid wall. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and the voice crack that I just had, hope you left a like, rating, and a comment. Sub to the channel because I upload 2 Pokemon videos a day. Have yourselves a good day, but above all else, keep it shady.